The 2022 Men's World Championship gold medal final. Brazil in the green. Renato and Vitor Felipe start with a brilliant defensive dig on Norway's Christian Sørum before working it off the arms of Anders Mol. The Olympic champions from Norway, the number 8 seeds, desperate to get the title that they have so far failed to claim on the world stage, and it's just about the only thing they haven't won. Simon Golding with you for this one, and alongside me, World Tour beach volleyball player from the USA, Travis Muherte. Travis, we've been looking forward to this one all day.
Oh, it's going to be such a good match, and if you are Brazil, this is a perfect start to the matches. Vitor Felipe just sitting in on the angle of Christian Sørum twice navigating around the block of Anders Mol. That is exactly how you want to start off the World Championship final.
Beautiful ball control. 31-year-old Vitor Felipe with his next serve. They're working Sørum early, as most teams do. And Christian Sørum just knows that he then has to come up with the big shot. Sure enough, he does.
Christian Sørum has been served probably more than any player in the world these past 4 years. He might give you a couple, but he's not going to give you a lot. And he knows how to handle pressure in big moments, as we've seen time and time again.
Responds with a fantastic ace, drops it over the net. 4th ace of this World Championship tournament. And the more of those he can find, the better it's going to be for Norway. Time for Anders Mol to go to work at the net. Good touch, but in the end, just takes it out of the way of his defensive partner.
And that can be a very frustrating thing. You can see that Christian was there on this one, and the redirection from Anders. He was originally in the angle, saw Vitor Felipe going in the line, and almost stole that line shot from Christian Sørum. A bit of a fortunate break for Brazil.
Back to Sørum. Back to the side-out pressure, and he balloons that one out over the sideline. Didn't catch that right at all.
No challenge needed on that one, Simon. That one is way out. A very rare mishit from Christian Sørum.
Well, he knows it's coming his way again. Sørum. Sides out. Oh my goodness. He has just properly bounced that ball.
And again, if this is what an unhealthy Christian Sørum can swing like, it is a wonder what he can do when he is fully healthy. This is a huge swing into the angle.
Second super spike of the evening from the 27-year-old defender. See how much K-tape he's got on his back, just under his shirt there. Might be that the lower back is the issue. Mol taking a good look at the call there, and he's got it in on the line. Now are Brazil going to review, or is that just a flat ace? It's a flat ace.
No one had a better view of that one than Vitor Felipe, and this one is almost darn near unpassable, tagging the line.
Swaps it up for the power, but on this occasion it's a little bit too much. And I have to say, for the first time in a long while, the Volley Vikings, Travis, look a little jittery here.
A little jittery, a little shaky to start. But the good news is that they are jittery. And Christian Sørum, he's given up 3 points right off the bat, very uncharacteristic, and they're still tied. It seems like Brazil has full control of this match, and yet we're tied at 5-5. And that's just the brilliance of the beach volley Vikings, is that if you have to work so hard for every point you earn against them just to keep things tied.
5-all in this race to 21 in the opening set of the Men's World Championship final. And it's the first monster block for the big man Mol.
That is the first, and I can promise you it will not be the last. Just an enormous move from Anders Mol into the angle, and you can see that he was blocking line. And that's just a total read block into the angle of Vitor Felipe.
Well, without wanting to be too technical, holy cow, they're at it again. And they are going off here in Rome. Norway making a shaky start to the match, but they've powered past Brazil.
And it is so important for Brazil to stop this run right here. You cannot let Norway get hot. We've seen what happens when they get hot against Alisson and Vitor. We saw what happens when they get hot against Andre and George, and here we go again.
Vitor Felipe takes it out nice and wide. It's a net touch from Anders Mol, and it's fortunate for Brazil because that was going to be another monster block.
It was, and we see Anders get a handful of nets, and that's just the price you pay when you are as an aggressive of a blocker as an Anders Mol. And again, just a huge move by Anders, sitting in the angle, moving way into the line.
It's all about how Brazil deal with the volley Vikings. It's not the other way round. They will set their level, Norway. Brazil have to respond. And for the moment, the youngster, 22-year-old Renato Lima, has been quiet in this game.
He hasn't, and Norway is sort of freezing Renato Lima out at the moment. Again, we mentioned how unfamiliar Lima is with the block of Anders Mol, but the same goes and vice versa, that Mol has never seen Renato Lima. He's seen Vitor Felipe and going with what's comfortable.
Good serve, very well passed by Renato, and goes line deep. He is concerned about the blocking threat of Mol, and Sørum was all over that, but it's out.
And Anders, he can do more than just block. That play was set up by a huge jump serve. It kept Renato Lima a little bit on his toes. He passed it very well, but didn't quite have the vision he usually does.
Again, the off pace this time hits Vitor Felipe. So they're just mixing it up between the two Brazilians. I think Vitor Felipe has got himself into the match. He's waiting to be joined by his young partner.
He has a huge arm, and one of the elements of Norway is that they are not afraid to go at anyone in the world. If Lima sides out, they'll switch to Vitor Felipe. If Vitor Felipe sides out, they'll switch. They'll never, ever get stuck on one guy because they know they can earn points on anyone.
Not working from the sideline at the moment for Brazil, which loads a huge amount of pressure onto your side-out game. And we know what this Brazilian pair like to do. They like to keep it away from the net, take away from the blockers' hands. And that could bring Sørum into the game more and more. That's an angle, Travis, that I didn't actually know existed.
And I don't think Anders knew that one existed either. Watch this replay. This is so sharp down the line. My goodness. Vitor Felipe.
Unbelievable. To Renato. Just having a little chat with himself before the serve. It's a solid one. Well, they test out Anders Mol just to see if he fancies a bit of a dart at the block, but no, just rolls it.
Early gives him the ball, and that's one.
Good serve, drops like a stone, well dealt with, but easy pickup for Sørum, and a super kill. Great read, great finish. This is the Norway, I'd like to say of old, but it's the Norway that we've been watching for the last 4 years.
Watch Anders go through 3 different choices here. He goes to handset, it's out of his grasp. He goes to option it, he realizes that's not a shot choice, so what does he do? He just poke sets Christian Sørum, absolutely perfect, and you can see him laughing at that one. Just a magician's touch from Anders Mol.
It's all working for the team in red. Vitor Felipe is still fighting his corner. He's battling hard here.
21 points. And it is going to be a battle this entire evening for Brazil, because this Norwegian team, they are playing, and it's almost terrifying to say this, but they might be playing their best volleyball that they've ever played. This run through a world championship, a field of 48 teams of the best teams in the world, and they've only lost a single set. It's preposterous how difficult that is, and even more preposterous is how easy Norway makes it look. This is a Brazilian team that has beaten the best in the world, is in the finals, and Norway is just cruising right now to a 12-9 lead.
Yeah, the Brazilian number 12 pair spoiling the party for the Roman fans here in Italy by beating Nicolai and Codafava in 3 fantastic sets a few nights ago. And then coming through against the dangerous Estonian pair, Vitor Felipe, are feeling the pressure. Oh yes, but well covered by Vitor Felipe. Brilliant, sensational from Brazil.
Absolutely sensational. There are not many occasions where you will see Christian Sørum a perfect set at the net with no one at the net, and he gets dug, and then Vitor Felipe just a hammer in transition. Brazil earned every bit of that point.
Need to get their serve working though. Option taken this time, no need for the jump set, just bring out the hammer.
And that's the danger of serving Christian Sørum a little bit short, is that he's one of the best passers, if not the best passer in the world. So when you bring him short like that short, you might be taking away his approach, but you are setting up Anders Mol for a huge option.
It was a massive leap from Renato at the net. I think the adrenaline is flowing out there for both teams. Lovely set. Oh, wonderful. Really nice play from Brazil again.
Felipe, he's finding a really good window down that line. That's the 4th time in this first set that we have seen him just Yahtzee one down the line. A late move by Christian Sørum, and Vitor Felipe, he sees that alley, and he has just been hammering it.
Still 2 points in it though. And Sørum is into his rhythm now, he's into his work for the night, and this is where he'll stay unless Brazil can force him out. Now I wonder when Norway are going to change things up. Feels to me like they're going to keep Renato in the dark. Oh no, they have gone to him. First test for the young man, and he's not up to it again. He is very worried about that Mol block. It's his second swing inside out, and he swung it straight into the net. We're going to get a challenge here from Renato Felipe. I assume that is asking for a net touch. That's all it can be. But I think this is a shot to nothing.
This could be the de facto timeout that a challenge has served as all weekend. And they're looking for a net touch, but Renato Lima, one of the smoothest players in the world, and I'm so excited to watch his progression, as this is just the beginning of his career. But 2 very uncharacteristic errors from him. We saw that line shot earlier, set a little bit long, and this cut shot didn't even make it into the middle of the net. He might be very concerned about that block of Anders Mol.
Here we go, no fault. They lose the challenge, they lose the point. A lot of Azeri superstars in the stadium tonight. Andrea Lucchetti is commentating for Italian TV. We just saw a nice shot of Maestrangelo, former magical middle blocker for the Italian side. All great Olympians indoors, and having a look at how the guys do it here on the sand. And that's probably the one downside of what has been a fabulous World Championships, Travis. No Italian representation in the final stages.
And that is just a credit to how good Renato Lima and Vitor Felipe played in the second round. They met Paolo Nicolai and Sam Potapava in the second round. That's how deep this tournament is, and they were coming off a brilliant tournament in Lazio. Won the Week 16 gold medal coming out of the qualifier with the number 3 team ranked in the world coming into this one. And it is a bummer for the home crowd that there is no Italian team in the medal round. So you can see that the fans don't seem to mind it, as there is almost as many Norwegian fans here as there were Italian fans rooting for Potapava and Nicolai.
There's our flow of points. Brazil trying to hit back, trying to contain this Brazilian team, but this Norwegian team. But they've made that mini break, Norway, and they're capitalising on it. It's going to be very difficult for the team in green to break this down. They go at Renato again, and he cannot get past Anders Mol. Should be Norway's point. Not quite. Brazil have other ideas. Can they go again? They can. And this time, Sørum gets it done. He just won't back off, will he? He keeps playing those shots. He keeps hitting hard to tough spots on court.
And what a cover by Vitor Felipe to keep that play alive. Just a really good job by Brazil to scramble and just keep this ball off the sand. But an even better scramble by Norway, by Christian Sørum and Anders Mol, who are just playing both positions exceptionally well right now.
They look properly chilled out there. It's going to be another free ball off a great serve. Mol takes responsibility. Could we see fireworks here? Goodness me. And that one is going to be have to be fetched from the crowd.
You guys have heard me see fireworks. What we just saw was just a grenade dropped by Anders Mol. That is a huge swing, and that is just Anders Mol doing what Anders Mol does. And I think what we're seeing right now is just the difference in experience on this stage. Renato Lima, he was undefeated in World Championships. He won a U19 World Championship. He won 2 U21 World Championships. But this is a little bit different of a level. Norway's been here before. Olympic finals. They've been in the World Championships before. And a little shaky start for Brazil.
Renato still can't put that ball away. And finally, Norway give them a gift. And they don't often dish out presents, Norway.
They do not, and Brazil had to work very hard just to get that gift. You saw the block from Anders Mol, the cover, another touch at the net from Anders Mol. And Renato Lima has not had one clean kill yet, and we are 29 points into this first set.
Which brings us back, Travis, to our favourite comment of the week. If you want to beat us, you've got to work harder than us, and that's not going to happen. Oh, maybe it is. Renato wins the joust against Mol, so just get the photograph of that one, stick it on Instagram, and enjoy.
Look at the hang time from Renato Lima, just hanging with Anders Mol at the net, and not many people on the planet can say that I just hung in a joust-off with Anders Mol. And Renato Lima, really nice job hanging, and getting that last push.
A grimace before he goes for his serve, but a chip off the net makes it an easy pass. Great dig from Vitor Felipe, but no, Sørum's on it. And Norway are just on another incredible run.
Vitor Felipe, his defense thus far in this match has been sensational, to be honest. This dig is so good, and the set was great, and just couldn't quite get the kill in transition, and that's why Norway is so good, because even when you have an insistent play in transition, they make it so difficult to score.
They go back to Renato. And he puts one away cleanly. That'll do his confidence a little bit of good, but Norway managing this situation well. They serve him, take a few points off him, and then go back to Vitor Felipe, and he needed that kill, Travis.
He didn't, and at the moment, if you're Brazil, it's not that this first set is over, but it's so much more important to get Renato Lima comfortable to come out in set number 2 a lot stronger.
Strong hit across his body, onto the angle, and the touch conceded.
And you can see Vitor Felipe, he's visibly frustrated that he didn't get this block, but it's almost, this block, his swing is unblockable. That is so sharp and so high that even the best blockers in the world are going to miss that one.
A couple of errors in this opening set. A few from Sørum at the start, a few from Mol towards the back end, but it's scant consolation for Brazil. They're still 4 points down, even with those errors. There we go. Christian Houdini Sørum.
And what's been interesting about Brazil is that they started the set serving exclusively Christian Sørum. As you mentioned, he's not at his healthiest form. He's not 100%. And yet Sørum was so steady that they've had to go to Anders Mol, who's been a little bit shaky passing. Without this Houdini play by Christian Sørum, this might be a good opportunity for Brazil.
5 set points, though, for Norway. And here's the first of them. Taken. Too good. I mean, there's no other way of describing it. Norway, right now, are just too good, and they lead this Men's World Championship final by 1-0 here in Rome.
And they have been too good since 2018. It's been just such a marvelous run. Occasionally, you'll see a team in sports have a dominant run for 1 year, for 2 years, but for Anders and Christian to be doing this for 4 straight years, winning 4 straight European championships, winning an Olympic gold medal, bringing Norway back on the beach volleyball map. The last time Norway medaled at a world championship, Anders and Christian were in diapers. It was 2001. They didn't even have a Norwegian team represented in the 2017 World Championships, and by the time 2019 rolled around, they were the heavy favorites. Here we are again in 2022 in Norway, as you can see, the heavy favorites to win this World Championship. Just 1 set to go.
Yeah, and I think on that point, let's say hi to Vegard Hodal and Jori Kjemperud. Hello, guys. If you're watching, hope all is well. You'll be delighted with the way that the boys you inspired are playing now. Well, Anders Mol is bringing out the big serves at this tournament. He's hit some powerful hits, but he's also hit some very accurate serves, and that was his best one in the first set. We're good to go then with set 2.
What's crazy about that serve is that it was 98 kilometers an hour, and that was a placement serve. That is just, the velocity on that is crazy, and it was placed perfectly.
Set 2 underway. The Volley Vikings in red chasing their first ever world title, to go with all the other cabinet full of trophies that they have, and 14 World Tour titles along the way. And they've made the perfect start. They were just brilliant in set 1. And I have to say, young Renato, 22 years of age, alongside his Brazilian partner Vitor Felipe, just look like they don't have any answers right now. Oh dear, and they don't have any answers, not to the blocking of Anders Mol and not to the defence of Christian Sørum. It's been clinical, Travis.
And just, I mean, that block, it leaves me legitimately speechless. Watching that replay, you have to wonder, what else are you supposed to do to get around the block of Anders Mol?
2-up start in this race to 21. Renato puts it away, but they're still trying to talk this through, but some of the comments that must be being exchanged right now is, what the hell?
And this is Renato Lima's first introduction to the block of Anders Mol, and you can see that he is struggling immensely with it. He has been so smooth this entire week, defeating some of the best blocks in the world, but struggling so much to get around Anders.
You're absolutely right. It's a superstar lineup of blockers that this team have beaten. Schweiner of the Czech Republic, Nikolai of Italy, and the mighty Tisar of Estonia, all fantastic. And then they put Theo Brunner away in the semi-finals. But Anders Mol is just a different class. Nice pass. They go on the back set to try and open room, but no. Mol says, let's get hands on that one. Oh dear me. It is as smooth as you could ever expect to see from the Vikings. They look fantastic right now.
And at the end of the last match that we called of this Norwegian team, we wondered if we were just gushing too much with our compliments about them. But what else are you supposed to say with Anders Mol and Christian Sørum right now? They are just waltzing through the biggest field in beach volleyball, and right here they're up 4-1 after winning set number 1. And it's not that Brazil is playing back, they're not hitting balls out of bounds, they're not giving them gifts, they are making Anders and Christian earn all of these points, and earned they are. Anders is, just when you thought he couldn't get any better as a blocker, he's evolving to a whole new level.
Well, just look at Renato in this timeout. I'd like the way he's handled himself. I can imagine a lot of 22-year-olds just completely losing the plot right now, but he's hanging in there. He's maybe thinking about the long game. At 22, he's got a huge career ahead of him, that's for sure.
He does, and it's going to be so exciting to watch his progress. He has the full skill set. He is split blocking. This is a split blocking team in the World Championship Finals, which is no easy feat. He is an exceptional blocker. He's an exceptional defender. And contrary to what we've seen tonight, he is an exceptional offensive player. But right now, there are no answers to be had between Anders Mol and Christian Sørum.
The restart after the early timeout called by Brazil. Heavy serve onto Renato. There we go. There we go. He's finding his way now. Here's the young man.
Really nice response out of the timeout. And I love that he stayed aggressive. It's always good to get that power game established early. Just a beautiful swing down the line and around the block.
Trouble is, it's gone into the Anders Mol computer. That will be spat out later when he tries to go line again. Oh dear me. And there's a response from Mol. He just lets every team in the world know if they serve him, they won't be able to get away with much.
And now that you've dropped that disciplined violence in my head, that's all I can think about right now. That swing from Anders, just disciplined violence. It was so controlled, but coming in with so much heat. And Anders Mol is just, he's playing at a world-class level.
Side outs need to come now for Brazil. There we go. That's the first part of the job, and I have to say, Renato Lima starting to grow into this game.
Those were the first two clean side side-out kills we've seen from and clean, meaning it wasn't touched by Anders Mol, it wasn't touched by Christian Sørum. He's finding the open space in the sand, maybe beginning to get a read on what they're doing on him defensively.
Yeah, nice serve. Vitor Felipe trying to get that cannon of a shoulder warmed up. Again, it's a solid side out from Norway, but signs here from Brazil that they're trying to push hard in this match now.
This is the first time we've seen this really go side out for side out. Throughout the entire first set, it would be Norway siding out, then earning one, siding out, then earning one. Now Brazil starting to get a little bit more comfortable on offense.
Renato steps across confidently to take the ball down the middle and then slides it down the line, but out. They're going to challenge here, though. Touch on the block is the signal asked for by Vitor Felipe.
Challenge on block touch in progress.
Yeah, does he look guilty or not?
That looks like a guilty face to me from Anders Mol, and you can see a little exchange under the net between Renato Lima and Anders Mol as Renato, he gave Anders sort of a thumbs up, did you touch it? And Anders, it seems like he fessed up a little bit there, but the Eagle Eye system will confirm for us.
They're still going to run the footage through and check it, but Brazil ready to serve, Norway ready to receive. We know which way this is going. Brazil retain the challenge, take the point. Oh, huge. Just huge from Sørum. And he's trying to open up the whole court here by continuing to hit hard until he has to shoot.
I'm interested to see if Brazil switches their defensive strategy. Vitor Felipe had so many digs in that first set, had a better read on defense, and we'll see if Renato Lima starts to run up to block. As we saw him do against Italian Sam Kotovava and Paulo Nicolai. It's the first time I've ever seen this Brazilian team do that, where they had Renato Lima full-time blocking, and I wouldn't be surprised if we see them make that same adjustment, as Vitor Felipe seems to have a better read on defense.
Yeah, I think that's a really good call, Travis. Let's keep an eye on that. Back set. Vitor Felipe strokes it to the line. That was a glorious shot, classy in the extreme.
Now you can see that Norway's beginning to look for new answers. Renato Lima, he's settled in, so they bring it back to Vitor Felipe, and wow, he has been making use of the line change, whether he's on the right or running a back set to the left. He is using those line alleys that Anders is giving up just a little bit.
Perfect response from Brazil. Off-pace serve, though, is easily dealt with by Sørum.
You can see Felipe, he made the right move. He slid into the angle of Christian Sørum. He got a good touch on it. He's making a lot of very good touches. Has to make that one a little bit better to give him a chance to set him, but he's getting the opportunities.
3 points up. Mol can loosen the shoulder. Oh, this is good. This is really good from Renato Lima, and it feels now like we've got a game.
It seems as if this Brazilian team has settled in, especially young Renato Lima. His first time on this stage, his first time playing against the block of Anders Mol. And you could see how calm he was at that timeout at 4-1. He wasn't worried. Him and Felipe, they weren't chatting and getting animated. He just sat there, he drank his water, he took a couple of deep breaths, and he has figured out how to get around the block of Anders Mol, at least for now. But as you said, Anders Mol, he's just taking data, and we might see that information spit out later.
Tight. Touch. Brazil, though, play the free ball. Oh, that's nimble work from Mol. And another very clever play just over the top of the blocker.
Good scramble work from Brazil just to keep this play alive, and almost a phenomenal turn off the block from Lima.
Trying everything in their armory, Brazil. Side out required. Oh no, he's got him. We talked about the computer, it's gone into overdrive.
And the algorithm of Anders Mol is running perfectly as it always does. Just another enormous move into the angle. Just such a disciplined block. And just like that, Norway's up 10-6 in a set that feels like it's so close that Norway's up 4.
Renato again has to shoot it and just shoots it way out of court.
And this, again, I've been discussing it in every match I've called with Norway, that they will end up with more errors from their opponents than almost any team in the world. And that's not a disservice to the teams they're playing. That is a credit to them. They're forcing them to do things they're uncomfortable with, as we've seen from Renato Lima.
He was on the move, he saw it coming, and Sørum's covered it like a dream.
And I love the fact that Brazil switched sides. I love the adjustment that Renato Lima made to go to the right, but Sørum all over that. What a beautiful one-handed dig. And then that is not an easy play to make. He had no step close, no approach, and still had a really nice swing on that ball.
6-point lead. There was that little change in momentum when Brazil started to respond and started to look like they were in the mix. Norway waited, bided their time, and then hit hard.
Norway, they have the luxury of patience because they know that their defense is the best in the world, one of the best defenses in beach volleyball history. So they know that it might be 7-7, 8-6. It might be a tight second set, but they know that over time they will just earn points, and that's what we're seeing.
On the line, another fine shot, off pace from Anders Mol, but once more accuracy is there.
And Brazil, they're trying everything. They're throwing the kitchen sink at the beach volley Vikings. They're serving Anders, they're serving Christian, they're serving them short, they're jump serving, they're float serving, and there's just nothing that is working.
They're going to need to gather a few more appliances from the kitchen to throw, because Norway are in control now of this final.
So far throughout this World Championship, there again proved to be no answers. Brazil is we're trying everything, and there's nothing that is working, and nothing has worked all week. This is the best volleyball I've seen from Norway in a long time, and certainly this year.
Can't think that many armchair sports fans will be sat there thinking, I'd like a go. Just glad they're not out there right now. Brazil are being taken apart here by a fabulous performance by the Volley Vikings.
And again, a huge serve from Brazil. They are trying to get them out of system, but Anders Mol, one of the best setters in the world, whether he can get his hands on it or not, that bump set was perfect, and a huge swing down the line from Sørum.
Again, the touch. Sørum all over it. They get the reuse off the net, but this time the block is good, and Brazil scramble another one.
And they need to be scrambling. This is a really, really nice block from Renato Lima. I just mentioned Anders Mol's world-class setting. He lets that one get a little bit too tight. Give him credit for being there for the cover. Couldn't quite corral it. Just a very nice block by Lima.
Crowd getting right into it now, and the Norwegian fans in the crowd, of which there are many. This team picks up fans wherever they go on the planet. They're making themselves heard here. They're enjoying themselves in Rome.
I think one of the most reliable indicators of what a team has done to a sport is how well their fan base travels. Norway, in beach volleyball, they have fans everywhere. Rome, no exception.
Just out. Brazil make it to double figures, much to the delight of our Brazilian pair that have been there all week long in centre court. They've watched every single match. 5 points to find for Brazil on their serve before Norway get to 21. There's another step closer to their first ever world title.
And Norway, they don't need any lucky breaks, and yet this is just, it almost seems fate, as if it's destiny, because they just got a lucky break there. It was just a really good touch off the block, ends up in no man's land, a little miscommunication in Norway, pushing the lead to 16-10 off just a somewhat lucky break that they'd never even needed.
Oh wow, that's a huge hit from Renato. He struggled tonight, but that was supreme.
And that swing right there is exactly why this team is here in this World Championship final. This one bounces clear into the stands. That is so impressive to do, so impressive to stay that aggressive when Anders Mol has been that formidable and imposing at the net so far.
No, Vitor Felipe has tried to take some of the responsibility onto those broad shoulders of his, but he just cannot find any kind of pressure from the serve line.
And if you're Vitor Felipe, you have to be uncorking that jump serve. Renato Lima, when it comes time for him to serve, he has to be uncorking it and adding pace to it, because nothing has been working for Brazil inside out. Norway's just been too sharp.
Norwegian fans loving it. Last play from Renato. Will be a name to reckon with over the coming years. Anders Mol is already a household name in beach volleyball. It's another phenomenal kill.
Goodness gracious. And if you are Vitor Felipe, watch out. You can see he put his hands up right by his face, because this one was coming in so hot. I think Vitor Felipe, as soon as he pulled off the net, he regretted that decision.
Yeah, nice swing. Renato still going at it. It's a little nod of appreciation from his partner, but you just have to look into Vitor Felipe's eyes, which you can do when there's no sun and no shades on, and he looks like a beaten man, I'm afraid.
And you can see that their body language is just a little bit defeated, as you mentioned, and Norway is the exact opposite. They have this steely focus about them. They know they're so close to winning a world title.
Another point and another step closer to achieving their dream of becoming Olympic, world and European champions all in one cycle.
It's almost maddening to watch this Norwegian team, because they just make this look so casual and easy. Sørum almost just walked into that pass and then walked into the side out like it was no problem.
Vitor Felipe wraps it off the arms, but it feels like a stay of execution rather than a proper side out.
It does. I think that this is just, it's a matter of time. And really, this has just been a matter of time since Anders and Christian began making their presence felt on the World Tour in 2018. You knew they were going to win a world title. It was just when.
Good hit. First big serve that's caused Sørum a problem for a while. And it's a Brazilian chance right here. Renato, though, a long way off the net. Oh, that is genius.
Well, if there were any questions of why this Brazilian team is in this world final, my goodness, Renato Lima, what a serve, what a dig, what a swing. That is why they're here. They deserve every bit of this gold medal match that they are currently in, because that is world-class beach volleyball.
Norway, one side out takes them to match point. They're going to have to work for it, though. Free ball. He takes a look. Anders Mol not going to fall for that, but Renato Lima wraps it off the hands. And this little burst of energy from Brazil has given them hope.
It's not quite over, but if you're Brazil, you would have wanted this run to happen in the middle of the set, not at the end of it when Norway's just 2 points away and they still have their timeout. For Brazil, give them credit. They are staying in this. They are fighting. They are hitting. They are clawing any way they can to stay in this match and extend it.
Another big serve required. Renato Lima bangs it straight into the net. And World Championship point arrives here in Rome for the Volley Vikings. The crowd are on their feet to pay homage to another extraordinary exhibition of beach volleyball. Can they do it in style? Vitor Felipe to keep Brazil in it. No, it ends as it so often ends, with a huge monster block from Anders Mol. And for one night in Rome, the Volley Vikings are the Volley Gladiators as they claim the World Championship title by 2-0.